Welcome to the official podcast of Vienna Shadows, a secret society uncovering Vienna's hidden mysteries. Lean back and enjoy the show.
All right, I want you to picture something. It's the 1920s, you're in Vienna, but forget the waltzes, forget the imperial palaces. This city feels haunted. It's like a phantom. The empire's gone, it's been shattered, and the city itself is, well, it's starving.
That's the image, isn't it? The decapitated head. You have this massive capital built for an empire of 50 million, now trying to run a tiny little republic of 6 million.
It's just hollowed out.
Exactly. It's too big for its own body, and it's terrified.
And that terror is exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at the Vienna Shadows RPG system, but specifically how it uses the folklore of the Raunächte.
The 12 Nights of Christmas.
Right. And it uses it to build this campaign where, cosmic horror just slams right into political chaos.
It's such a great collision. You have Red Vienna, this socialist project building modern housing and preaching science, clashing with this occult reformation that's just bubbling up from the sewers.
So our mission today is to give you, whether you're a game master or a player, the tools you need to run or survive these longest nights. And I have to say, looking at the source material for a game with such heavy themes, the rules seem surprisingly simple.
They are, and that's on purpose. It's a minimalist D6 system. And that creates this real sense of fragility. When the mechanics are that light, there's not much game to protect your character from what's coming.
I noticed that even with the character sheet, it's digital, PC or mobile.
Yeah.
But the game notes specifically say it's not saved on a server, it's local.
Which is a kind of meta commentary, right?
Totally. It's 1923. There is no cloud saving you. It's all on you to keep your own papers in order. You lose your file. You basically lose your soul.
And speaking of losing your soul, the main attributes are health and, sanity.
And the downward spiral on those looks brutal. A lot of games give you, death saves or something. Here, if health hits 0.
You're dead. That's it. Instantly.
But if sanity hits 0.
You're gone. Catatonic, locked away in an asylum, screaming at the walls. The game makes it clear that almost everything can change those numbers. An item, a spell, just seeing the wrong thing at the wrong time.
So your grip on reality is just constantly shifting.
It's slippery.
Okay, so walk me through the core mechanic. Roll a d6 sounds almost too simple for a horror game.
It's a classic roll-under system. So let's say your agility is a 4. To do something, you roll one 6-sided die.
I need to get.
Lower than a 4. You roll a 1, 2, or 3, you succeed. You roll a 4 or higher, you fail.
So a higher stat is always better.
Right. But the real tension comes from the modifiers. The GM makes things easier or harder based on the story. Firing a pistol on a practice range, easy. Firing that same pistol while the wild hunt is howling overhead, that's going to be a much harder roll.
So the focus isn't on learning a ton of rules, it's on reading the scene.
Precisely. It keeps things moving, which is what you want for horror. You don't want to pause the dread to look up a rule in a book. You roll the die and hope.
Okay, so we've got this fast, deadly system. Let's get into the setting. We mentioned Vienna as a decapitated head, but the source material really frames this as a war for reality.
It absolutely is. You have to understand the time. On one side are the Social Democrats, Red Vienna. They're building the Karl Marx Hof, this huge housing complex. They're all about hygiene, electricity, science. They're trying to kill the past with concrete.
Turn on all the lights so there are no shadows left.
Exactly. But on the other side, you've got the occultists. And these aren't just, a few weirdos. You have huge celebrities like Eric Jan Hennessy, the clairvoyant.
No way, the stage psychic.
Yeah, selling out theaters. You have Guido von List and his whole Ariaspi movement, mixing paganism with nationalism.
So the game is saying this political fight is actually a magical one.
It's a metaphysical battle. The rationalists are trying to slam the door to the supernatural shut, and the occultists are trying to pry it open. And the time when that door is already unlocked, that's the Raunächte.
Let's unpack that. Because for a lot of people, the 12 Days of Christmas is a song about some birds and some rings.
Right, but in Alpine folklore, it's much, much darker. It's basically a calendar problem. The lunar year is about 354 days long.
And the solar year is 365.
So you have these 11 days and 12 nights that are just left over. They don't fit in the lunar calendar. So folklore says they exist outside of time.
Time at a time. That's a great concept for horror.
It means the normal rules are off. Cause and effect, physics, logic, it all gets weak. The wall between our world and the spirit world becomes thin. You're in a crack in reality.
The name itself is interesting, too. Raunächte.
It's a double meaning. Today, most people think it comes from Rauch, which means smoke.
For the incense and fumigation rituals.
Right. But the older root is probably Ruch, which means rough or hairy.
The hairy knights.
It refers to the demons, the fur-clad things that come out when time stops. So the name itself is the conflict. The smoke is your defense. The roughness is the threat.
Okay, so how do you survive the roughness? The source book lists these rules of survival, and they're not combat moves, they're taboos. The first one that jumped out at me for this setting was the wheel taboo.
Oh, yeah. This is where the old folklore gets really vicious in a modern city. The old rule was simple. No wheel can turn. Back then, that meant a spinning wheel for making thread.
You don't spin the wheel of fate when time itself is broken.
Exactly. But in 1920s, Vienna, the whole city runs on wheels. Trams, factory gears, printing presses.
So the game weaponizes that.
Yeah.
A factory foreman in Red Vienna, he's got quotas. He has to run the machines. But his workers, who came from the countryside, they are terrified.
And the game says their fear is justified. The machines do turn on you. A tram derails for no reason. A printing press catches a worker's arm.
It's mechanical malice, and it creates conflict. The rationalist player sees a loose screw. The occultist player sees the taboo being broken.
And the horror is that they're both right.
The other big one is the laundry taboo. No white laundry on the line.
Never. The wild hunt, the ghostly procession, they'll steal the white sheets to use as burial shrouds for the people who live in that house.
That's such a simple, creepy visual. You're in a crowded Vienna courtyard. You look up, and there's just one single white bedsheet flapping in the wind.
And you just know someone in that apartment is going to die within the year. It's such an effective way for a GM to start a mystery without a single monster showing up.
Just a bedsheet.
Yeah.
So how do you fight back? We mentioned the smoke.
Reukers, fumigation. It's a great mechanic for the players. You can't just burn anything. You have to go find specific protective herbs.
And the source mentions juniper as a key one.
Yeah, juniper is for warding off the wild hunt. You hear that howling in the wind, you better have some juniper. Sage is for cleansing a place of, spiritual corruption. Frankincense sanctifies a space.
I love that as a gameplay loop. The city is freezing, inflation is out of control, and your party is running around the Naschmark trying to buy a few dried juniper berries before sunset.
It makes the magic feel real and desperate. It's not about mana points. It's about hoping your damp twigs will catch fire before the thing outside breaks down the door.
There's also Blagisen, lead pouring. I've actually done this on New Year's.
It's a great tradition. You melt a little piece of lead over a candle, drop it in cold water, and the shape it makes tells your fortune.
And in the game, it gives you fate points.
Yes, it rewards player creativity. If you can look at that random lead blob and come up with a clever interpretation that connects to the plot, the GM gives you a fate point you can spend later. It's a brilliant way to gamify divination.
Okay, so we've got our rules, our herbs, our lead.
Mm-hmm.
But what are we actually hiding from? The bestiary in this game is not festive.
No, not at all. These aren't friendly Christmas spirits. They're enforcers of the old laws.
And the main one is Frau Perchta. But she's not just one thing, is she?
She's a dual goddess. You have the bright one, who rewards people who are hardworking and clean. But in a horror RPG, you're probably going to meet the other one, the Schickperkt, the ugly Perchta.
The Billy Slitter.
It is pure body horror. If you're lazy or you break one of the taboos, she finds you, slits your stomach open, pulls out your organs,
Oh, wow.
and stuffs you full of straw and pebbles before sewing you back up.
So that's an investigation right there. The players find a body. The police are baffled. Who steals the liver and leaves behind a pile of rocks?
Exactly. And the players know. They check the stitching. If it's this crude, thick thread, it's her.
She also has an entourage, the Schnabelperchten.
The beeped Perchten, these things are nightmare fuel. They're silent, they have these long bird-like beaks, and they carry huge scissors. They go into houses to check for dust.
They don't talk.
No, just a clicking sound. Gah, gah, gah. If they find a dusty corner, they bring out the scissors.
So it's not a fight. It's a stealth mission in your own apartment. Did I sweep properly? Did I dust the top of the bookshelf?
Right. It's this incredible domestic horror. The threat isn't in some ancient tomb. It's judging your housekeeping.
Then you have the big one, the Wild Hunt. Die Wild Jag.
The ghostly army riding across the winter sky. But this is where the 1920s setting makes the myth so much more powerful. Historically, the hunt is, old knights, pagan gods. But in 1923,
It's the soldiers from the war.
it's the Great War. The source material ties the myth directly to the trauma of WWI. The ghostly army is full of spectral soldiers in their gray uniforms, still wearing gas masks with horrible shrapnel wounds.
That's devastating. So when the players look up, they might see their own brother or their father riding in that horrible procession.
It completely blurs the line between a supernatural monster and collective PTSD. The roar of the hunt sounds like an artillery shell.
Speaking of social commentary, we have to talk about the Yule Cat. Yule Cat.
A giant cat from Icelandic folklore that eats anyone who didn't get new clothes for Christmas.
Which sounds kind of quirky in a fairy tale, but in a city crushed by poverty and hyperinflation.
It becomes a monster of class warfare, and the source suggests you use it that way. The Yule Cat stalks the slums, the poorer districts. It eats people because they literally cannot afford a new pair of socks.
Or, even darker, maybe the city's rich elite are using it, summoning it to cleanse the streets of the poor.
Precisely. It turns the economy into an actual physical monster. Poverty makes you pray.
So the source book lays out a campaign structure, running night by night from December 21st to January 6th.
It's a great ticking clock. You just have to survive one night at a time as the veil gets thinner and thinner.
Let's touch on a couple of the scenario seeds, because they tie all this together. The Tailor of Ottakring.
Right, that connects directly to the Yule Cat. A tailor is suddenly making a fortune creating these beautiful coats when everyone else is going broke.
But he has a dark secret.
He's made a pact, he's feeding the city's homeless to the cat, and in return he gets his success. So the players are investigating disappearances thinking it's a serial killer, but it's really a deal with a demon.
That's chilling. What about the Dream of the Drud? That one's set in the Narran term, the old asylum.
Yeah, the Fool's Tower. This one plays with the sanity rules. A drud is a nightmare spirit that causes sleep paralysis. Patients are dying in their sleep. The players find out the spirit is getting in because a magical protective stone was stolen from the building.
So it's part investigation, part journey into the dream world to fight it.
Which is so dangerous with that sanity mechanic. If your Verstand hits 0 while you're dreaming, do you ever come back?
Probably not. My favorite, though, was The Blood of the Templars.
Ah, yes, in Bloodgas Blood Alley. Real street. The story starts with what looks like blood seeping up from between the cobblestones.
And everyone assumes it's the ghosts of the Templars who were supposedly killed there.
But it's not. It's a tatsel worm and an Alpine cryptid, kind of a lizard cat thing, that was hibernating under the street. And what woke it up?
The subway construction.
I love that. Red Vienna's project of modernization literally drills into the ancient past and wakes up a monster. It's the perfect metaphor for the whole game.
And the source suggests a final battle at the Karl Marx Hof.
The fortress of socialism. Imagine the players on the rooftop of this massive modernist building using fumigation rituals to create barriers, while the Wild Hunt, summoned by occultists, tries to storm the place. It's a defense of the future against the ghosts of the past.
That's so cinematic. It really is a battle for the soul of the city.
And that's why the simple rules work. They get out of the way and let you focus on that huge, terrifying story.
So when you pull it all together, why does this combination of simple rules and dense folklore work so well?
I think it works because the horror feels earned. It's grounded in things that were genuinely terrifying at the time. The cold, the hunger, the trauma of war. The monsters are just giving those fears a face.
And it leaves you with that question. What do you trust?
Exactly. When the world is falling apart, when the government is unstable and money is worthless, maybe the old rituals aren't just superstitions. Maybe they're the only thing left that actually works.
Pretty chilling thought to end on. So for all of you listening, when the wind starts to howl this winter and you hear a sound at your window, ask yourself, are you going to trust the electric light or are you going to light the juniper?
I know which one I'm picking.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah?
And keep your laundry inside, everyone.
This concludes today's episode. Don't forget to rate and subscribe. Until next time, Vienna Shadows, signing off.